Thanks, Anne Harriet, for allowing me to join the Spring Lab. And it feels a bit like Winter Lab at the moment. But I'm sure there is sunshine ahead, and that's the theme for, I think, what we're aiming to do is to look for a better future.
I've heard David Caroli speak a few times. He's obviously got an incredible amount of knowledge about climate change. But this time he gave us a few personal stories. Actually how he started looking at climate change instead of the weather and meteorology. He came from a point of view of actually being a skeptic and saying, I think I can disprove this, very nascent theory at the time. I think it was the 80s, and quickly realised that he couldn't.
The time for choices about what sort of planet we want isn't in 5 years' time or 10 years' time. It's now.
How do we take your understanding or other people's understanding of climate change and present it in a way that maybe more people will act on or take notice or change?
So I'm sure as artists here, it's very, very important to feel that reverence for matter and for the...
Every single meal we eat is a profound experience because we have Meg and Patrick talking to us about the food and explaining what vegetables are in season affect what can be eaten. Not only are the meals sort of very impressive ethically because the food miles are low, but they're fantastic. They're so delicious.
Because most of the work I do at the moment is very academic, I am really inspired to see the way that a lot of the other artists are grabbing onto concepts that I'm very familiar with from an academic perspective and using those in their practice.
I found that being amongst so many other leading artists in their areas or leading practitioners in science and other fields, it challenges you to be more fully embodying the ideas and thoughts that accompany your arguments and your artistic practice.
There's also been moments of quite raw emotion and facing up to some of the really difficult aspects of dealing with climate change, and so that's been really healing and also quite meaningful.
We declare that only when civilization rests on a premise of bioproportionality, understood as an ethic of respect for the sovereignty of living things, will the present era of savagery end and an era of true civility begin.
Hands out, like this, there's a movement.
Right. Give us an abstract.
To me, my group, to my country.
This will be a place to come back to in the memory as a kind of touching point to continue all the different journeys that we have, and hopefully we become stronger and more united in our efforts in the future.
We acknowledge that our goal is not yet within our reach, but we attest that anything short of it is inconsistent with conscience. In obedience to conscience and in gratitude to the earth we share with the family of life, we pledge ourselves to this goal's attainment.